All right, let's get this going. Hello, my fellow epic gamers. For those of you who didn't close out right away, this is the Hirus Q and A number 43 or something. I'm probably going to stop numbering these in the title because I think that makes people think you have to watch the previous ones first. So I'm going to try my best to leave a number in the video description instead. And I think I've been doing that for the last couple. I remember I used to do these Q&As once every 2 weeks. And now they're like once every 2 months or something, since the last one was at the beginning of January, and it is now the last day of February. So good timing for this. Did that thing not have a nameplate on it? Well, anyways, for those of you who don't like the fact that I play games, that I play the game while I do the Q&A, you're going to be happy to know I'm just going to go to like an inn and just hang out there since my hands hurt. So there's no playing WoW right now, which is a shame because I've been having so much fun playing WoW recently because like I leveled my monk to max level and I've been trying it out because I've never really played a monk before. So it's fun learning a brand new class. And I found tanking on the monk to be kind of okay. I still have not tried healing yet, like, at all. So, even though I'm, like, a main healer, I've also been trying out the wind-walking spec, like, the DPS spec, and it seems like it'd be a lot of fun if I had full use of my fingers. I have, like, really stiff fingers right now, and my right hand is currently a lot better. I'm letting it heal up, though, because since my left hand has been having some problems, I've been compensating by using my right hand for everything, including keybinding everything to my mouse and using my mouse exclusively to play WoW, where I even have like auto run and jump bound to the mouse. That way I don't have to use my left hand like at all. And because of that, and the fact that I was playing so much WoW over the weekends, my hand's sore. That wasn't a good idea. So I'm letting it take a break. It's feeling a lot better now. My left hand is not, though. I still need to go to the doctor for that. But I've been trying. Like, I put in a doctor's appointment in the middle of January. Because I finally... Like, my fingers started hurting in November, but I didn't get my health insurance card until January. Because of the way health insurance works, you can't just buy it immediately. You have to wait. But anyways, I wouldn't have health insurance until January, and then in January I set up a doctor's appointment online, like how I set it up last time, and they just kind of ignored me. And then I didn't really try again until like a month later, and I put in another request, and, you know, maybe the first one, you know, there was just some problems with it, but no, they ignored that one too. So I've put in a third request recently, using a different thing. And if that doesn't work out, I'm just going to have to try something else. Worst case scenario, I can just go to the hospital. But this isn't really a problem, you know, where I'd want to do that. Especially, you know what? Let's not talk about medical problems. Let's go into, like, the questions or something. So let's see. Question number 1. Hey, Hero. Thanks for doing your thing. I really love your content. Are there any plans for collabs? Would you collab with Mad Season Show? Hey, collab with Mad Season Show, huh? I'd be down for that. The thing with collabs, though, is like, I'm not a big fan of collabing for the sake of collabing. I kind of only want to collab if there's, like, a reason for it. Like, maybe I need him to voice something, you know, perfect opportunity for a collab, or the kind of thing Taliesin and Evitel used to do, or what Soul Breezy does, or they have a bunch of YouTubers on, you know, like an end-of-year showdown thing with a whole bunch of collaborators, you know, and a video created for collaborations, that kind of thing. Other than that, I don't really go out of my way to do collabs. Most YouTubers are just kind of busy enough doing their own thing. But I've also found they're very open to collabs if you just ask. Same with me. Although I do have some, like, caveats with it. If you ask me to collab, I do require that you have a consistent upload schedule and a YouTube channel that exists. And that the collab should not be time consuming on my part. And that's about it. Like, I don't have super strict things on it. The views and sub count doesn't matter, just as long as you've been uploading for a while. And I only have these restrictions because I've had some bad experiences in the past where a guy asked me to be on his podcast, and it turns out he didn't have a channel or anything. And halfway through the podcast, he started live commentating a video game. And that was just kind of weird. The podcast never went out. I don't think it ever was. I'm pretty sure he was just a fan who wanted to talk. So, yeah, I have very low restrictions. There's also people who have sent me messages where they haven't actually started their channel yet, and they wanted me to, like, be on it. You know, that way they'd get a nice boost when they did start. And I just no. You know, if you've been doing it for, like, a couple of months and you have consistent upload schedule and everything, sure, why not? But if you're just using my name to get a boost, for one, that's not going to work. No one cares about me. Like, you know, a collab, having someone on your show, it doesn't help as much as you think it does. And, yeah. Let's go on to the other one. I don't have any plans for collabs, but also, you know, I'm open to them. And Mad Season, he's a cool guy. I'd love to collab with him if it was appropriate for something. Let's see. Before going to the next question, I need to reload. Like, this thing I have, which rotates my camera slowly, it never stops. I don't actually know how to stop it. I just have this thing set up to rotate slowly for footage. And I'm sure that would get really annoying really fast. So, next question. If you had to pick one racial leader to help you fight against every other racial leader of the respective faction, who would you choose? I like this question because I had this idea for Season 2 of The Melancholic Adventures of Inzoth, where it was going to be a battle royale with like 7 of the major leaders in Warcraft. And that was pretty fun, thinking about who would be able to beat who. And like ultimately, I think having Shaw-infused Garrosh would probably be the best bet, considering he was a pretty strong raid boss. So that might be my answer. But then again, Garrosh would be a pain in the ass to work with. So at that point, it's like, you know, maybe Sylvanas. She's also pretty powerful too. Yeah, let's go with that. Plus, she's the best, you know? Next question. Not a question, and not for the purpose of being in a video. I'm just really surprised how open you are about your life. Not in a bad way. Yeah, I got a lot of comments about this in my last Q&A video. I don't remember being extra open about anything. I think it was just me talking like normal. Or maybe, I don't know, the last Q&A video got a lot more views than normal. So maybe that's it. I am pretty open about myself. Because I really like talking about myself. And that includes, you know, all the things people would normally hide. But, you know, even then, even with how open I am, there are still some things I don't talk about. And I'm not even going to talk about what I don't talk about. But for most personal things that would put me in a negative light, or it would be embarrassing, I'm fine with talking about those things. If anything, those are fun to talk about. Okay, so next one. So I didn't understand one thing about this Q&A. How can you say you're a workaholic, but then say that your job is a secondary thing, and that it's not the most important thing in the world? Doesn't add up too much. Okay, so in the last Q&A video, I'm sure I talked about how I was a workaholic and that led to some health problems, which is true. And I'm pretty sure I talked about in a separate part of the Q&A about how, you know, if I couldn't do YouTube, you know, that's fine. I can just work at McDonald's or something. It's not the most important thing in the world. but it is a great thing. It's really nice. This is a nice job. They don't really contradict each other, because if you think of it like, I'm a workaholic because I like my job. Like, it's a lot of fun to make videos and everything that goes into it. So it's real easy to just do that all the time. 24/7. Especially since I don't have a social life. I have much more time to just make videos and do things I like. And one of the things I liked was making videos. And the thing I liked was also paying my bills. So why would I not do more of it? Do too much of it anyway. Like, I did so much making videos that, I got a whole bunch of health problems from it. And I'm pretty sure that's why my hands hurt. I've at least lightened the load on my hands significantly. So hopefully I don't have any other problems, because so far, like, because of work, I've had 2 health problems. One of them is my chest problems, costochondritis, which was amplified by poor posture, since I sit at my desk literally all day, every day. Especially since for work, I was at my desk working, and then for fun, I was at my desk playing video games, doing the exact same thing. And sitting down and hunched over, it caused chest problems, which were really bad. But I have those fixed. I got a standing desk, I sleep on my back, I do stretches. Never underestimate the power of stretches. I always remember there was this King of the Hill episode where Hank, threw his back out trying to pick up a propane tank incorrectly or something. And he, couldn't move. And he had to go on medical leave because he couldn't work anymore. And, he went to the doctor, and the doctor's like, yoga has been proven to help in these cases. And Hank Hill in King of the Hill is, a super conservative... he's not really a redneck, I guess. He's just really old-fashioned. So he hates anything hippie-ish. And there's no way he was going to do yoga. But the doctor said, it would help. So he went into the yoga class, and the instructor was everything he hates. Super new age guy. But he did the yoga anyway, and it helped. It, fixed his back. And I always remember that. And I was like, maybe stretching, there's something to it. So, when I was having back problems, I looked up some stretches online for it, and I overdid it, and I hurt my groin. But after that healed, I went back to the stretches, and I took it light. And I just did them consistently every day, and my problems went away. And same thing with my chest. I found some, stretches I can do with it. I bought a back pod. And, it's basically all better now. Because I consistently do it, I guess. So yeah, stretching's great. Yoga is legit. What was I talking about? Oh, about how I work too much. Right. I had my chest problems from working too much, and also my hand problems. Oh, and also my anxiety problems. I forgot about that one, because I have that one under control too. Because, another funny story, I went to college for psychology. So when I found out I had general anxiety disorder, I was like, oh, well, now that I know that I have it, I can just, fix that myself. Because I know how to do that kind of thing. It's not something a normal person can do. Self-treating a psychological problem is hard work. And there's a lot that goes into it, and there's a lot of, know-how and everything. I, thankfully, have the background that allows me to actually do these kinds of things. So, I can kind of just self-fixed it. And even, fix is kind of a weird word for psychological problems. You don't really ever fix them, you just learn how to manage them. And I have it managed to a point where it doesn't really affect me. But, it doesn't mean I can go back to normal either. I didn't have to change some things about my life. No longer working 7 days a week. I now only work 5 days a week. And that's to reduce on my physical stress on my body. So let's go on to the next one. I think I answered that one pretty well, even if I was a little bit rambly about it. But then again, that's what these videos are about. These Q&A videos, all of them are very rambly. I usually go off on tangents a lot, just warning you, in case you don't like that kind of thing. Let's see. So, I don't understand one thing. Okay, here's the next one. Who is your favorite lore character who is underrated? Probably Deathstalker Commander Belmont. Now, for those of you who don't know who Deathstalker Commander Belmont is, he's an undead who appears in Silverpine, in Cataclysm. And he gives you a couple of quests, and you go with him behind enemy lines in Gilnean territory to help retrieve Godfrey's body. And once you get his body, you get ambushed. Well, not really ambushed. You're in enemy territory. The Worgen find you, and they send a huge squadron of Worgen after you. And the Valkyrie who's with you can fly you guys out, but she can only carry, the body in one of you. And Deathstalker, obviously he sends you, the hero, with the Valkyrie, and he's like, go, I'll be fine. And then when you leave, you just see a ton of Worgen going after Belmont. And it is insinuated that he definitely dies after this. And then during the Shadowfang Keep dungeon, Belmont is at the front giving you the quest for the dungeon, and he basically says, oh, all those Worgen? Yeah, that was nothing. I just, escaped. I just got out because I'm that good of a rogue. And I was like, wow, that's literally a really good feat to accomplish right there, because he should have been dead. I am putting way too much effort into my voice. Ugh, it's so unconscious. I'm so used. Whenever I'm recording a video, I instinctively just go into my fake voice now. I'm going to have to lower the energy a little bit. Ooh. Mentally lowering the energy of your voice. That's tough, especially when you're kind of unconsciously raising it. Okay, I think I'm at a good monotone level right now. This should be good. This should be good for not getting stressed out. My throat feels like it's closing up a little bit. Probably because I was using my fake voice for too much. Oh, I also kept drinking water too. Man, it's hard. Okay, let's try to keep it like this. Next question. Hello, Hero. I was wondering if you regularly watch Sopa Soka's content. I noticed you dropped a comment on one of his Vanilla Iron Man challenge episodes. I do. I watch his videos occasionally. I watch a lot of WoW YouTubers, especially a lot of the smaller ones. And obviously all of the big ones, too. I keep up to date on my WoW YouTubers, since they're an excellent source of inspiration for videos or fact ideas and stuff like that. And also, I like watching them, I guess. That's how I started YouTube in the first place, was because I liked watching YouTube videos. So I just watch a lot of YouTube. That's like one of my biggest hobbies, is just watching a metric shit ton. Oops, I shouldn't say bad words here. This isn't the Azeroth Weather Channel. A metric lot of YouTube videos. And yeah, Sopa, he has his Vanilla Iron Man series, which is great. Question. What would you recommend as entry-level editing software? There are so many options and it feels overwhelming. Entry-level video editing, I would suggest Sony Vegas or Premiere Pro. And those are also the main ones you'll use. Sony Vegas is better. It's more user-friendly, and it allows you to do simple edits quicker. Premiere Pro is fine. I know lots of YouTubers who use it. It has all of the same features as Sony Vegas, and a big advantage it has over Sony Vegas is it has the same interface as After Effects. So, if you go over to After Effects and start learning it, it's an easier jump. And also, you can import After Effects things to Premiere Pro without having to render it, I think. I'm not really sure how that works. But Sony Vegas is just much more user-friendly. You can edit a lot quicker in Sony Vegas. I'd highly recommend it. You just watch tutorials on YouTube as you go along. It's super easy. I recently trained an editor who didn't know anything about editing into Sony Vegas. He's already like a pro at it after like a month. You know, that's how easy Sony Vegas is. But also, you know, both of those are kind of expensive. I don't really know of a free alternative. Those are the only two I know. Like, because I took a college course on Premiere Pro. So I know how to use it. And after, you know, taking the class on it, I can confidently say that Sony Vegas is better. You know, this is a case where I've tried both of them extensively, and I've just come to the conclusion that one of them is definitely better. But the other one, it works. It does its job. It just takes a lot of unnecessary steps to do simple things. To the next question, though. What's your Yu-Gi-Oh channel? Don't see a link in the description. My Yu-Gi-Oh channel is the Duologues. Recently hit 55,000 subscribers. Heck yeah. So many subs. More important thing is it gets over 1 million views a month. Those are the metrics that matter. Getting over 1 million views a month is something that even channels with hundreds of thousands of subscribers struggle to do. So, you know, it's growing at a very appropriate pace. The videos I've been doing over there are great, and the editor I hire for it to make some of those videos. It's doing so well that I'm able to pay them exclusively on the royalties from the videos they make. It's great. It's a good system going on over there. If I were to focus on that channel full time, I would definitely be able to grow it even larger. I mean, of course, if the WoW channel died, I wouldn't just focus exclusively on Yu-Gi-Oh! I would focus more on Yu-Gi-Oh! And then start a new channel as well. You know, I'm no stranger to starting new channels. I do have like 11 or 12 of them, you know. It's just only 2 of them are successful. Next question. What kind of playstyle have you tried / want to play in Path of Exile? A side note, you can look on the Poe official forums, look at builds by class type. They generally have a pretty good description on what they do, how they do it, and how to be able to do it while leveling. Okay, so Path of Exile. I think I talked about how I was going to try it out, and I did try it out. I tried it out more than usual, and it's like, still boring. I'm still not a big fan of it. But, you know, a lot of the friends I've been talking to have said it gets a lot better at max level, especially if you're coming from D3, and I really do like D3. And they're definitely not going to update 3.3 anytime soon, whereas they update Path of Exile all the time. So I might as well just bite the bullet and try to hit max level. That being said, I'm having hand problems right now, so I'm not really playing any video games. Anything outside of ones that require a low click count. And Path of Exile is a very high click count game, so it's just out. I'm not playing that right now. Once my hands get better, I might go back to it, because I really do like Diablo 3. So, you know, if it gets as good as Diablo 3 at max level, I'll probably try to tough it out to max level to check it out for myself. You know, it's kind of like, WoW. The game doesn't really start until max level for the most part. Alright, next question is, bring back Big Game Hunter, please. I already finished it. Like, I finished it on stream one day. I was like, hey, I haven't done my Big Game Hunter thing in a while. So I logged on, I equipped a whole bunch of heirlooms, and I just went out and killed Gedimus. It was great. So, it's over. I'll probably put a video together. And I doubt I'll release it on this channel, but I might do it on the Azeroth Weather channel or something. Or maybe I'll just not do it at all. Azeroth Weather channel is kind of the channel I'm putting all my low-effort videos now. Because I started a new series over there, like a discussion series, where I just talk about topics in WoW. And that's been a lot of fun. Like, I've been having a lot of fun making videos over there. And I think the reason I'm having a lot of fun making those videos is, like, twofold. You know, one, I don't have any ads on the videos in that channel. It's ad-free. And, you know, like, not having any obligation to make the video do well is just some kind of mental freer, right? It's like, I can do whatever I want. I can even say cuss words in my videos without, caring. And 2, the videos are real easy to make. Like, they don't require any kind of special editing or even a script. So I basically just stand up. I do all my recording standing up. I just stand there and just talk. And I just put on some very light editing where I just throw in a background thing. And it's good to go. And it's super easy. And I get to talk about a bunch of interesting topics. It's just, I've been having a lot of fun with those discussion videos. To the point where I'm probably going to try to experiment with other kinds of, low effort stuff. That's just fun to make. Next question. Do you play MTG? MTG, I'm sure he's talking about Magic the Gathering. The answer to that question may surprise you, considering I play Hearthstone a lot, and, I have a Yu-Gi-Oh channel, a successful Yu-Gi-Oh channel, where I get comments every day on that channel and be like, do you have a WoW channel too? The audiences are completely different. There is very little overlap between them. And despite the fact that I have a channel dedicated to a card game, I'm not a big fan of the most popular card game, MTG. It's just, I don't like the combat system. That being said, I do like Magic the Gathering top 10 videos. I don't know why, but I find them very intriguing, and I've watched so many of them. I watch all those videos, and I don't even know what's happening half the time when I have to look up all the keywords. Because the main guy I watch for him, he doesn't explain anything. He talks about the game as if you're already a Magic the Gathering expert, and you know all the keywords and everything. And because of that, when I make my Yu-Gi-Oh videos, I make sure to explain the terminologies and stuff. But Yu-Gi-Oh doesn't have keywords, so it's a little bit different. But because, I watch all these Magic the Gathering videos, and I don't play Magic, and they talk as if you do play Magic, I make my Yu-Gi-Oh videos as if you don't play Yu-Gi-Oh and you're watching for the first time. And I think that's why those videos have been doing so well. Among a whole bunch of other things. It's just making it more new player friendly. I'm not going to explain literally every single terminology, though. But I do definitely attempt to make them more new player friendly than the Magic the Gathering top 10s where I have to look up all the keywords. Okay. If they would just say, they have a whole video on, haste, I think. Top 10 haste card. And, this is a haste card because it does this and this. It's why would you not explain what haste is at the beginning of the video? Is that so hard? Whatever. I still enjoy those videos. Let's see. Next question. You're my favorite WoW content creator. You just talk about cool, interesting things about WoW, not all the doom and gloom. Yeah, I mean, especially if you watch my discussion videos, those are all just, WoW stuff. No doom and gloom, though. I like to think of myself as a positive person who focuses more on the more positive things without blindly ignoring negatives. I'm not going to completely disregard legitimate complaints. But I'm also not going to exaggerate those negative complaints. So, no doom and gloom for me, especially since I like WoW. I've been having, I think I kind of talked about it for a little bit. I've been having a lot of fun with WoW recently because of my new monk and everything. And when I was researching the mount videos, especially the one I made recently, top 10 mounts, part 2, easiest to get mounts, I had to go out and actually get a lot of that footage. That way I could see if, the information was still valid. I do like to do that. If I'm putting something in a video, most of the time I like to check it out for myself, to make sure it's actually there or that the information's correct. Because sometimes it's not. And yeah, farming mounts and everything, it was a lot of fun. Having a concrete goal to work towards, farming 10,000 dinosaur bones, something you work at a little bit every day, doing 20 days of daily quests for a mount, something you worked at a little bit every day and you were guaranteed to get something at the end of it. That was a lot of fun. Plus, I've been like setting up my auctions because I'm trying to save up 5 million gold to buy the auction house mount. And it's like, man, I wish I was like Asmongold, where I can just do a stream and have people give me gold. People don't like me that much, though. If I do a stream and I want to do a battleground, I have a hard enough time getting 5 people to join my group. So getting 5 million gold donated is kind of out of the picture. So I've been having fun, like, just trying to make the gold, because I used to play the auction house super hardcore in Cataclysm, and I'm not doing anything near as hardcore as I did back then, but I have, like, my daily routine set up, where I'm doing, like, little things every day to earn gold. And that's been a lot of fun. And then I've been also trying to get, like, my islands done every week, because if you complete your islands, you get a chance at a quest, which gives you 5,000 gold. So I have 2 max level characters that I was trying to complete all my islands on every week. And the way I thought to do that, instead of, just spending one day doing nothing but islands, I was like, what if I do 2 islands every night? My characters. And eventually, I'd get them all done. And that's what I was doing, and I got into the habit of doing islands every night, and I was actually, once I went Shadow on my Priest, and I just went full AoE spec, I was having a blast, because it turns out Shadow Priests are like AoE gods. They do so much AoE burst damage, it's insane. It was a lot of fun, just like bursting down everything. To the point where, like, my monk was kind of boring in comparison, because he can't kill groups of NPCs anywhere near as quickly as my Shadow Priest can, even though I main a Disc Priest. So I even was, like, farming out pieces of gear for my island set, and also in islands it drops pets and toys and transmog pieces. And those transmog items, they sell for a lot. Like, I've sold a couple of them for 5,000 gold each. And it's like, that's just like a free 5,000 gold while trying to get a quest which gives you 5,000 gold. So, all of those things, so much fun. And then, like, I played too much. It was too much WoW. I was also leveling new characters and everything, and then my hand just started hurting. Hacking heck. I knew this was gonna happen. You can't overuse one hand to compensate for another one without it, eventually breaking down on you, so I've been taking a break, and I've just been like, oh my god, I need to complete my emissaries. I need to get that piece of gear for my alt. I need to do my war fronts. I haven't done my islands in, like, the last 2 weeks, and I just, like, feel so bad about it. It's like, man, I really just want to play WoW, but I can't. So, whenever I see people complaining about how they have nothing to do in the game and how the game is literally super boring right now, all I can think about is how much I want to play the game, but I can't. I just can't relate to them. Plus the new raid is a lot of fun too. Yeah, this raid is definitely going to go down as one of the best. It's really good. Okay, so, next question. What voice program were you using? In the last one, I talked about how I got a voice-to-text software. Since I can't use my hands, I still need to write scripts. Especially since, I have 3 editors and an artist who works for me. So that's 4 people who rely on me to make scripts for them. And, if I can't use my hands, obviously I can't type. So I got a voice-to-text software. Because one of my Patreons in my Discord, I was talking about my hand problems, and she's like, you should try Dragon Naturally Speaking. I was like, okay. So I bought it, and I tried it out, and it works really good. Like, it doesn't get proper names right very well. Like, I'll say Oldemon, like I was saying, I was making a script earlier where I was saying Oldemon a lot, and it's the name of a dungeon in WoW, and it would spell it out as, like, hold them on or something, so I'd have to go in and change it. But if you change it enough time and, like, tell it to, like, correct itself, it'll eventually learn, your voice and these proper things. So it now picks up Jaina whenever I say that, or Arthas, or Doloran. It actually picks up Doloran now. That one took forever to train it. But, like, everything else, it picks up super easily. Like, it's so good that it's actually faster than typing for me now. because typing, I was never the fastest typer in the world anyway, since, I'm like I can't touch type. But I've been typing for so long, especially for all the scripts I make. I've gotten pretty good at it to the point where I type at a competent level. And the voice to text feature it's faster. And it like spells one of my editors was like, I notice you're using, the voice to text thing because everything is spelled correctly now. It's like, yeah, that's true. It spells things better than me. And sometimes I'll want to write down a word, but I can't spell it. So I'll change it to something else. And with the voice to text feature, I can just say it and it will spell it out for me. And I was like, oh, that's how you spell that word. It's really convenient because I'm bad at spelling. So yeah, that's been working out really well for me. If I didn't have that, I'd be having a really hard time right now. So I'm really glad the program, works and that it was suggested to me. But yeah, it's called Dragon Naturally Speaking. And like, funny thing about that, I bought a book on Amazon. It was like called How to Train Your Dragon. And it was all about how to properly use the program. And the book was basically all about how to properly set it up and which programs to use it in. And a huge part of it was talking about how you need to buy a good mic. And you can't use a crappy headset mic for it because it needs, a good quality mic. And it just gave so many tips on how to buy a good one and explaining why you need to buy a good mic. I was like, I already have a good mic. I use it to make videos. Like, this doesn't apply to me, so I skipped ahead. And it was like, okay, now if you want to use the program, it doesn't work very good in like Google Drive or a lot of Word documents. And here are all the Word documents it works the best in. And I was like, I've already been using it in these Word documents. Like, it works best in like a Notepad or WordPad. And those are the things I write my scripts in. So I had unintentionally been using it, in the correct way from the get-go. And so basically reading those books was just like, oh, I've already been doing everything correct. I mean, I guess it's good that I know that for sure now. So yeah, you need a good mic and you need to use, the proper program. Because I tried using it like in Google Drive. And yeah, it's really bad in there. It doesn't pick up my words anywhere near as good. It's weird how it doesn't work very well in some Word programs. I wonder why it's so different. The book also explained it. Basically, like the program, the way they're designed, just messes with the word-to-text speech program. But whatever. Alright, next question. You should leave some links to your editors in the video description. Yeah, I probably should. I recently got a new editor. And he's been doing a good job, even though he like literally just started editing a month or so ago. So it was great. Plus, Captain Grimm, he's been working for the channel for like the past 2 months now. And his videos are just so good. Whenever his videos go out, I get so many comments like, oh, wow, your editing has improved so much. I was like, no, it hasn't. That's just Grimm. He's just way better than me. That's all it is. I'm going to keep him around as long as humanly possible. Because his videos are great. And with the editors, like, for them, I make the scripts and I voice them. And then I give them the scripts. And depending on which editor I'm working with, there's a lot of extra work I have to do. But if it's with Grimm, I literally just give him the script and my voice. And he just does everything himself. Whereas the other editors, because like for the Yugioh Channel, my editors don't play Yu-Gi-Oh! So in the script, I have to like show them which cards go where. If I'm like offhandedly mentioning something, like, oh, this card easily beats over 3,000 attack monsters, I'll have to type into the script, right here, insert Blue Eyes White Dragon, because it's a 3,000 attack monster who would fit in this situation. But I'm also not going to say that in the script because it's not needed. So, and I have to type in which cards to put where. So I have to do a lot of setting up for those videos. And also some of the WoW ones, too. So yeah, there's a lot of work that goes into them, even though, the editors, they do a lot of the time-consuming stuff. Especially Grimm, though. He's great. He just basically does everything on his own. Kind of the same with the Villains Corner artist. Like, I just send her off the script, and then she's like, okay, this is where, you know, there'll be a drawing for this part, a drawing here, and she, like, numbers it out. It's like, okay, this video is going to take 140 drawings. It's like, damn. You know, good thing you're on your ball with that. Okay. So, let's go on to the next question. I should probably put their channels in description. I'll do that if I remember. Oh no, I went AFK on here. Okay. Let's see. Next question. Are you going to make a vanilla guild? You know, when Classic WoW comes out? The answer to that is no. Same reason I don't have a community. Because, you know, mostly when I'm playing the game, I do it because I need footage. And I'm going to be playing a lot of Classic WoW for footage, too. And I don't need, you know, an active guild chat. That doesn't make for good footage. Or people messaging me all the time. That's why I'm not part of a community either. Because if I was, I'd probably get messages all the time. I just... that's not something I need in my footage. You know, it's not like, you know, I hate people or my fans or anything. No, I'm not saying that. What I am saying is I play a lot of WoW for footage. Even when I play for fun, I'll sometimes randomly start recording because like, oh, this would be good footage. You know, like when I was recently leveling my alt, my monk, you know, a lot of that I recorded. You know, even though I was doing it for fun, I was like, you know, this would also make good footage in the future. You know, that's kind of why I don't make videos about other things I like anymore. Because nothing ruins your fun more than, like, making videos about it. Like, WoW and Yu-Gi-Oh! Have definitely been ruined for me. I don't enjoy them in the same way I used to, but I still do enjoy them. It's just, now, you know, when I used to play WoW all the time, it was just fun, and I just did whatever I wanted. And now, I'll sometimes be like, you know, I really want to level up my, Death Knight. No, not Death Knight. Demon Hunter. I really want to finish out the Order Hall campaign, but, you know, I need the footage of that, because I don't have footage of the Demon Hunter Order Hall campaign. And what if I need it in the future? You know, so if I'm going to do that, I need to record it. But also, if I'm going to record it, I want to record it like all in one batch. I don't want multiple videos. And if I'm going to do that, I don't want breaks in the middle of the video. You know, I don't want to just go AFK for 10 minutes in the middle of the video, because then future me will have to go through and like edit that out. Or what if I want to use that as B-roll footage and that's, you know, the entire thing, and then I have to edit out 10 minutes of me sitting still. So it's basically like, you know, I need footage for this, even though I want to do this, you know, for myself. But also, you know, getting the footage is kind of a pain in the ass. Maybe I'll do it later. And I'll do something else where I don't need footage of it. It just kind of ruins things. Like, I'd like to just be able to do the Order Hall campaign and not record it. But also, if I just do the Order Hall campaign without recording it, I'll keep thinking, you know, I need this footage. You know, it's like, I should be recording this. You know, what are you doing? You're going to regret it. You've done this before in the past, where you've done things and you didn't record it, and then you needed the footage and you didn't have it. I was like, no, you're right. I do need the footage. Why am I not recording? Who cares if I, you know, AFK or need to cut it into parts? It's not a big deal. And then I start recording and I'm like, woo, I have all this pressure to not take breaks and not cut it into parts. It's just, it's just all of these stressor things that make it less enjoyable. So my most fun things to do in the game are things I don't need footage of. Like doing islands or world quests and stuff like that. Or, you know, all of the dailies I do for my gold making things. But even then, you know, getting footage isn't the worst thing in the world, because I got a lot of footage of my bunk while I was leveling it up. But that was just because, you know, I had set out, like, I'm going to record for the next 2 hours, just play my monk, you know, get 2 birds with 1 stone. I'm going to put on YouTube playlists and everything. But the Order Hall campaign's a little bit different because I don't really need to play my Demon Hunter. I don't really need the footage. It's just something I kind of want to do for fun. Oh, but I did need to level my monk, and I did need to complete the war campaign. Ooh, it'd be so much better if I didn't make videos and I could just do this without worrying about the footage. You know? What was I talking about? Oh, yeah, Vanilla Guild. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. I don't need messages in-game. Especially, though, because I have this story. Let me drink some water, though, because I keep using my fake voice and it's drawing my throat out. Okay, so I created an alternate battle.net account that I made exclusively to play Heroes of the Storm on. Since Heroes of the Storm is a free-to-play game, I thought, hey, I can make this alt account so that I can play with fans on stream. Because back then, I didn't know of any other way to invite fans into my party in order to play Heroes of the Storm, without inviting them on BNet. I found an alternative way later, and I use that one now. Basically, you just have to create a chat channel and tell them to join your chat channel, and you can invite them from there. Super convenient feature. It doesn't exist in Overwatch, though, which is surprising. Like, why the hell do you don't have the same feature in Overwatch? That's so stupid. But anyways, I can invite people on my main account in Heroes of the Storm, so I don't need to use that account anymore. That being said, I needed to log on to that alternative account. And since that alt account was created exclusively to play with fans, I didn't remove any of my fans from my friends list, after the games were over. And I invited pretty much anyone who sent me a friend request. So, I hopped onto that alternative account in order to check something real quick. And even though I was only on it for like 5 minutes, I got like 20 messages from fans. And I had a whole bunch of undone friend requests, pending friend requests. Because I have an add-on in game, in WoW, which as soon as I log on, it auto-declines friend requests. So sometimes it'll be like, you declined 2 friend requests. It's like, oh, neat. Because I don't invite anyone. And it's because, when I logged onto that alternative account, and I just got bombarded with 20 messages at once, the thing is, the messages were really sweet. They were really nice. They were just people who wanted to chat. They saw, one of their 5th favorite WoW YouTubers hop on. And it's like, ooh, I can talk to him, say hi or something. And they were just all really nice. And I was busy. I was in the middle of doing something. I was looking up something for footage. And I had other things to do. And I couldn't reply to all of them. And I just felt really bad. I was like, oh, these guys, they're so nice. I'd like to reply to all of them, but I can't. I have other things I need to do today. I'm in the middle of something right now. I just don't have the time for this. Especially since it's all real-time things. And it's because of things like that, that I have a strict, don't add anyone on Battle.net. And the few people I do add, I give them this caveat. I tell them, I'll add you to Battle.net, but never send me a message, ever. you don't need to message me. That's what Discord or other social media things are for. If I'm in WoW, don't send me a message. And that's basically it. Even if I'm not in WoW, don't send me a message on the launcher either. So it's why add them to Battle.net? And it was yeah, exactly. You don't really need to, but there are some people I work with who I add on Battle.net. It's convenient. Also, some top Patreon supporters. That is a special privilege for them because, I can tell them, don't message me. Ever. And yeah, that's basically it. Even if I do add you, I have a little message about, don't ever add me. But the thing is, for them, the special privilege, even though, they can't talk to me, is if I do need a group or something, I can just invite them real quickly that way. There are some advantages to it. Sometimes I'll play Hearthstone and I need to fight against someone. And having them already on my friends list makes it easier to hey, let's do that one quest where we have to play against a friend on my friends list. those kinds of things. What was I talking about? I don't remember. Vanilla Guild? Yeah, if I did that, yeah, no. Can't do that. I might join Tips Out's Guild, though. Maybe. I don't know. Next question. Which quest add-on you are using? Like the look? The quest add-on is called Zygor. It is a paid add-on. Well, I mean, technically the add-on itself is free, because you can't charge for an add-on, and it does have some really basic features to it. But if you want the guides on the add-on, you have to pay for it. Like, the guides, they're really good. And it's updated all the time. Like, when I was doing the Love is in the Air dailies and everything, I literally just clicked on here and it told me the best way to do them. And it just points you to wherever you need to go. It's so convenient. I love it so much. And that's why I pay for it. Because I do so much in WoW. And having this arrow tell me exactly what to do. It also gives you little hints right here. It tells you what you need to do as well. If there's like a complicated thing in it. Sometimes, like if a quest is located in the middle of a cave, it'll point you to the entrance of the cave. And I'll be like, go here, or take this path. It's really good. Also, I'm not sponsored. I don't like to talk about it in videos, even though I use this add-on a lot. Because they did sponsor me in the past. Like, that's how I found it. They gave me like $40 to put 2 links into my videos. I was like, hey, that's a free $40. No problem. But, before I did that, I looked up their guides, their videos, what it was about. I'm not going to do any sponsorship without looking into the company first. And I looked into it and I was like, wow, this add-on, it seems too good to be true. So I downloaded a pirated copy of it to try it out. And it was great, and I really loved it. So I was like, yeah, I'll take your money to put those 2 links in. And since then, I've been paying for it, and I've definitely given them more money than they gave me for those 2 lines. So, yeah, it eventually worked out in their favor, especially since their add-on appears in a lot of my videos. Let's see, next question. Do you draw? Answer. I do. Not very well. Not very well at all. In fact, I'm really bad at it. Despite the fact that I spent a lot of time and effort in my earlier years trying to draw as best as possible. Before I finally gave up because I just don't have any talent in it. But because of all of the hard work, I have all of the basics of it down. Like, I know all of art theory and everything. Because I put a ton of time and effort into it. And it just didn't pan out. I just didn't have the talent for it. And I know this for a fact. Because I did have talent in other things. Like, I am, what you might call it, athletically talented. I'm good at pretty much every sport I've tried. And I was really good at, football and everything I did. And so I know what talent is like. And because I know what it's like to have talent in something else, I know I don't have talent in drawing. Which is a shame, because I really, really wanted to be good at it. That's just how it is sometimes. Sometimes you try really hard at something and you just fail. That's just life. And then you happen to be really good at something else you don't even care about. It's like, I'm really good at sports. And I was like, why? What good is that? Not only is that kind of useless for me, but I'm also short. I'm only 5'6". The reason being athletically talented is almost a useless talent when you're short. Because all of the sports require, at least being 6 feet tall if you want to compete. Not all of them. There are some sports where, weight class matters. I could probably, get into wrestling or boxing or something, but I didn't. I don't really care. It's best to, I don't know. I don't draw. I do draw for the Patreon rewards. I'm just not good at it. Next question. What is your favorite class/build in Diablo 3? My favorite class and build is the multi-shot Demon Hunter. A lot of fun. Basically, you get an item set bonus that increases the damage of your multi-shot by like 6,000% or something based on the discipline you have. So you just get a whole bunch of gear that gives you extra discipline. And discipline is the resource you spend in order to use your movement speed increases. So stacking the skill, which allows you to move faster, also increases your damage, which is like so much fun, especially since multi-shot hits like half the room. So you're going around super fast everywhere, because Diablo is all about farming as fast as possible. So not only are you able to move incredibly fast for the entire rift, you're also able to hit half the room and one-shot most of them. Because like part of the build requires you to get something, where multi-shot will do extra 40% damage on targets above 75% health, and then literally double damage on targets below 50% health. So they're taking extra damage, when you hit them at first, and then they're taking even more damage when you hit them below half health. So that build, so much fun. Hitting half the room, just one-shotting everything. And if you don't one-shot it, they'll die after like 2 hits because they're taking double damage below 50% health. Oh man. Also, the bow that also gives you double damage also doubles the speed you can shoot the ability. It's so much fun. I love my multi-shot build. I don't like no other build. I'm not going to say has come close. There's been a couple of other fun builds I like too. That's definitely been the most fun build, and I've been looking for other builds like every season that could kind of match the multi-shot build. None of them really have. Like some of the Necromancer builds are pretty fun. None of the mage ones were. Like all of the mage ones sucked. Or wizard, I guess. Which is such a shame because I like spellcasters. But no, all of the wizard ones are really boring to play. Same with all of the monk ones. Oh, but the barbarian was pretty fun too. Okay, so last question. I have no problem with you playing WoW during your Q&A, but I prefer it if you turn off the in-game sound. It's kind of distracting when listening to this in the background. Also, I care about your hero. Your personality really resonates with my own. I even watch your Q&As more than your regular videos. If I'm honest, I'm moving them to the weather channel, result in higher quality of them, more frequent. That'd be great. Well, you're probably going to like this video then, since I didn't actually play the game at all. And yeah, I did turn the game sounds down. I tried in my last video for the game sounds to be turned up a little bit. So you could actually hear the game, and that was not a good idea. That was a terrible idea. Like, turning on this macro, which I can't actually turn off. And now it's just going to rotate forever until I reload the screen. And if you like the Q&As, you'll like my discussion videos on the Weather Channel. Like, I, talk about one topic, but I also go off on a lot of tangents about random things, which is basically what my Q&A is all about. So if you're a fan of my Q&A videos, you'll like the videos on my Weather Channel then. But also, in my last video, I talked about how I might move my Q&As to the Weather Channel. And I decided against it. Like, one of my Patreons on my Discord, they talked about it when they heard it from the last Q&A. And they said they liked my videos. And then when they watched one of my Q&As that came out randomly, they liked me as a person from the Q&As. And it was because of the Q&As that they decided to donate on Patreon. And they probably never would have if they hadn't, watched the Q&A and, found out more about my personality, since it doesn't really shine through in my videos. Since the videos are really fact-based. They're more about the research I put in, and less about me as a person. I don't build my videos around my personality. So the Q&As are like one of the few things where you can actually learn more about me. And also, if the Q&As were on another channel, they probably would have never seen it. Because why would they go into one of my alternative channels when they're only like a passive fan of my main channel? So because of that, and the fact that Q&As come out so infrequently, I'm probably just going to keep them here. Alright. While this is reloading, to end off this Q&A, I will tell a personal story from my life that probably won't come up in a Q&A video on its own. And this one is about... I don't remember if I told this in my last Q&A. I wrote it down. I don't think I did. but it's the time I hurt my knee and the terrible recovery afterwards. So, in football, during my sophomore year, I was a starter. I remember when I was starting, like, I came from, whatchamacallit? I was a short guy, right? And I played the defensive tackle. So the coaches, obviously, in most cases in football, the short kid doesn't really see play, let alone become a starter, especially not as a lineman. So when I was a starter, all the other coaches, they were very surprised. I remember that when we were going to like the after football meetings where we talked to some of the coaches, and they were like, you know what? When they told us you were starting, I was honestly surprised. I was like, really, that kid? And then when I saw you play, you were really good, and I understood why they put you as a starter. That all being said, during the last game of the season, I was playing, and we were winning by a lot. And during the game, someone from the enemy team, the opponent's team, you don't call them enemies in football. Someone from the opponent's team fell on my leg, and it bent sideways. Ow, I bent my leg sideways. And it like stretched it. And, it didn't break or anything, but it definitely hurt a lot. And so after the play was over, I did the next one. I was like, shoot. Sorry, this isn't the Weather Channel. I was like, shoot, I can't move my knee. It really hurts. And so I did the play, and I did fine, and I like ran to the sideline. I was like, Coach, I need to sub out. And they're like, no, go back in. We're winning. It doesn't matter. I was like, So I ran back in, and I basically played the rest of the quarter with one leg, and I still did fine. The opponent's team wasn't very good. And then, we went out, and it was halftime. And I told the coach, I was like, I think I hurt my leg. I need to sub out. And they're like, no, it's fine. Just grit through it. You'll be okay. I was like, okay. Because in football, they don't like to change out the starters unless they absolutely have to. Like, you may be second string, but they really don't want to put you in if you're second string. They want to play the first string player as much as possible until, they get injured or they get super tired where they're literally like falling down on the field. And because of that, I played off my knee injury as if it was a minor thing. They just had me keep playing, and they didn't take me out until the fourth quarter. When they put someone else in who wasn't even second string. He was just a linebacker who they thought they would put in my position because he wanted to try it for fun. And we were winning by like 40 points, which is a ton in football. So they put him in, and I finally got to go off on the sideline and take a break. And my knee was just it was in so much pain. And I went home and I told my mom about it, and then we went to the hospital like the next day. And they're like, yeah, you tore a ligament. You tore your meniscus, is what they said it was after, doing like some kind of scan on it, because they did an x-ray and they're like, yeah, your knee's not broken. It's probably ligament damage. And basically the thing that tore was the piece of tissue which separates your thigh bone from your knee, I think. And without it was just going to grate on top of it. And so I had to like wear a really stiff knee brace for 6 months. And I was basically done. But since that was the last game of the season, the injury didn't affect my ability to play football, but it did affect my ability to go into wrestling, because I had planned on wrestling as soon as football season ended, because I had done that in the previous year when I was a freshman. So I was basically out for like 6 months with my knee injury, and it healed up in time in order to do track. I didn't run in track, I was a thrower, but I had ran the previous year. It's just because of my knee injury, I couldn't run that much, but I could still throw. And if you did football, they made you do track at the school I went to. And, even though like my knee was hurt and everything, I couldn't move it. And I had like a really stiff brace where I basically had to walk like Frankenstein everywhere. I still had to go to morning practice because there was like this whole camaraderie bullshit that they subscribe to in football, where even if you were injured, you still had to show up at practice, to show that you were part of the team. So I'd still have to wake up at 5 o'clock every day and go in to weightlifting. And they would always be like, you can lift with your leg. Come on, it's not that bad. I was like, it is that bad. Leave me alone. I don't want to lift weights. And they just, kept doing this every day to eventually, when I got rid of the stiff knee brace and just went to a regular knee brace, I started lifting again. And that definitely slowed down the healing process on my knee. And I went to the doctor a couple of times afterwards. And this is the kind of injury that doesn't heal on its own. You're probably going to have to get surgery to get it fixed if it doesn't, get better. And so what I did was never go back to the doctor and never talked about it again. Because I didn't want to get surgery. So my knee, I assume it's fine. I use it now. I just know I have a bad knee. And basically what that means is if I work out too much, my knee will start throbbing because it never really healed. But it's also nowhere near as bad as when I first heard it. So, if I work out too much or if I'm running too much, my knee would just start hurting. I was like, well, looks like I'm done for the week. And if I just take a couple of days off, it'll get better. That's all it is. If I stand too much, my knee will start hurting. I was like, well, I guess it's time to put on my knee brace or something. And it gets better. Or if it's raining outside, I can feel it in my knee. I was like, oh, it must be raining tonight. And it will rain. And while it's raining, it just holy crap, it hurts so much. The moisture in the air or something. Something about it just causes my knee to ache like crazy. So if I just take a couple of ibuprofen, the pain goes away. So I have a messed up knee. And I had to play for 2 quarters on it. 2 quarters in football. That's an hour of game time. That is a long time to play on an injured knee like that. I'm still kind of mad about that. But also at the same time, I should have been more assertive about my injury. But, I was new and everything. I was still new to these kinds of things. And also, I think I was, in sophomore year, that was the year where I wasn't talking to anyone. That's my knee story. I don't think I've ever told that before because, it doesn't really end with anything exciting. And, it doesn't really start with anything exciting. It's I hurt my knee and I had to play on it for 2 quarters. And then it took 6 months to heal. And it still hurts to this day. But only if I, overextend it. Right now, it's fine. Zero pain. None at all. If I started, running 2 miles a day, though, by the end of the week, it might start hurting. That's the kind of thing it is. And if I ever want to get fully fixed, I'd have to get surgery. And, it's fine the way it is. I don't need that. Okay, so that's whatchamacallit? That's it. That's the Q and A. So, like with all Q and A's, if you have a question for next time, just leave it as a comment in this video, preferably with question in front of it so I can filter them out easier. And also, hopefully by next time, my hands will be good enough so I can actually play the game. Or, I don't know. Some of you guys really don't like me playing the game while I'm doing these Q and A's, which is fine and everything. So you guys will probably really like this one since I didn't really do anything in game the entire time.